The guy who got splashed in the face was called Wei Qing. He was born into a super rich family with billions of dollars, but he's still single because he has a really rare and weird disease. Basically, he's allergic to women if he touches them. Feeling totally hopeless, he went up to the roof to drink away his sadness, but he drank way too much and accidentally fell. At the critical moment, a girl pulled him up. Maybe because he was too drunk, he couldn't see her face clearly. The girl used all her strength to pull him up, and after she did, they both fell to the ground. Right then, Wei Qing vaguely saw a necklace that the girl dropped. But when he woke up, a different girl was standing in front of him. Wei Qing mistakenly thought she was his real princess, and the girl just acted like it was obvious and became his current girlfriend. Now they're driving to a resort to have fun. While they're eating, Wei Qing takes out the necklace to check out his girlfriend. Would she recognize this necklace? But his girlfriend didn't recognize it. To test if he was allergic to this girl, Wei Qing took out a new necklace and put it on her. They even had skin-to-skin contact. Then they went home. When he saw himself covered in a rash, Wei Qing finally realized that the person he was dating wasn't the one who saved him that night. At that moment, a girl sneaked into his room, and this person was Zhou Shi, who saved Wei Qing that night. She came to find her lost necklace. Unexpectedly, all the movements attracted Wei Qing's attention. Desperate, she had to hide in the crack of the door, but Wei Qing still found her. Wei Qing got so angry that he wanted to call the police. Zhou Shi quickly ran outside to apologize, saying, "This was just a last resort. I just wanted to find my lost thing." Wei Qing totally didn't believe her and kicked her out. Right then, she got a call from a boy, inviting her to go see the meteor shower. This person was Ming Chung, her childhood sweetheart, and she was thrilled to hear the news. Excitedly bouncing her feet, she suddenly remembered that the necklace was still in Wei Qing's room. How was she going to get it? She had no choice. She could only turn to Wei Qing's girlfriend for help. Ranyu was willing to agree. It was just a trade. Zhou Shi would help her beat the side chick and buy a snack. Ranyu wanted to take down Wei Qing's pursuer tonight, but she didn't know that Wei Qing, in the corner, had heard all these conversations. Just as Zhou Shi was riding her bike to buy the snack, Wei Qing called the manager and fired Zhou Shi. When Zhou Shi came back, the manager told her she was fired and told his men to take her out. Unexpectedly, she was born with supernatural strength. After shaking off the underlings, she punched the manager right in the face. The manager writhed in fear and whispered, "You can't beat our boss." Turning around, as Zhou Shi angrily went to kick the bike, she happened to run into Wei Qing and Ranyu. She had no choice but to hide behind the car. The girlfriend was like pulling a relationship, but Wei Qing was determined not to turn back. Wei Qing walked toward the car. Zhou Shi, afraid of being discovered, had to hide in the car first. Unexpectedly, Wei Qing also got in the car. She sat in the car feeling nervous. Suddenly, Zhou Shi's cell phone rang. Wei Qing slammed on the brakes. "Can't you drive better? Why is it you? Why are you in my car?" She quickly explained that she just wanted to get her stuff back. Wei Qing looked annoyed. He thought Zhou Shi was just making trouble for no reason. He got so angry that he wanted to send her to the police station. Before the car stopped, Zhou Shi wanted to get out. There was a big rock in the road. Luckily, Wei Qing managed to brake in time. They both quickly got out of the car to check things out. Zhou Shi took off running when she saw something was wrong, and Wei Qing chased after her. By accident, they both fell into the mud. While he was still trying to process what was happening, she was straddling him, searching for her things. She searched and searched, but couldn't find anything. The car was also dead, and both of them were covered in mud, so they just waited for the bus on the side of the road. Just then, countless lights shot across the sky. It was so beautiful, a meteor shower. The two of them had been fighting tooth and nail just moments before. The next second, the meteor shower looked perfectly harmonious. This scene was truly stunning. At that moment, the bus arrived. They both quickly got on and headed home. Wei Qing took off his clothes and something weird happened. He didn't have an allergic reaction at all. He remembered all the scenes from before. Such close contact and no allergic reaction in his body. Could Zhou Shi be the person he's been looking for? Meanwhile, Ranyu was dumped by Wei Qing, and she wasn't going to let him get away with ditching her. So, she found some thugs. She planned to teach Wei Qing a lesson. At that time, Wei Qing went to the nightclub to drink, and he happened to run into Zhou Shi. She came here to work extra, although she tried to cover herself up. But he still spotted her. He gave Zhou Shi a $1 million necklace as a tip. Talk about a rich guy throwing his money around. Right then, two thugs were planning something. right there, and she happened to overhear their conversation. Things were really bad now. She rushed to find Wei Qing, and when she grabbed his hand to run, the guys Ran Yu hired showed up. They threatened to make Wei Qing get on his knees. How could a billionaire chairman put up with such a worthless attitude? He kicked one of the thugs away with one kick. Then, he grabbed a bottle and smashed it right over the guy's head. The two of them wrestled. At this moment, the other goon was about to attack from behind, but she was sure grabbed a stick with both hands. Then she broke the goon's leg. When she was about to help Wei Qing, she suddenly twisted her ankle. Luckily, security arrived in time, which scared the crap out of those thugs. As Zhuo Shi tried to get up to leave, surprise, her ankle was sprained and she couldn't walk. Seeing this, he immediately picked her up, ready to go to the hospital. Anyone seeing this scene would be filled with happiness. For a billionaire chairman who'd never been to a hospital, this was a first. It was really inconvenient. It was probably a big deal. Then, Wei Qing pulled out a stack of money, saying it was a reward for saving him. But Zhuo Shi refused it outright. Wei Qing said he didn't want to owe her, and that he would help her fulfill a wish. Zhuo Shi thought long and hard, and finally she told him her wish. She just wanted to keep the theory out of the course. He readily agreed. Back home, she fiddled with broken porcelain, trying to fix it, but it was no use. It turned out that it was her roommate that accidentally broke someone else's porcelain, and her friend lost sleep and meals because of this. No way. She could only turn to Wei Qing and request, as long as it could be repaired. She could help under his conditions. Wei Qing wasn't shy. He simply asked Zhuo Shi to be his girlfriend, and Zhuo Shi flatly refused. Wei Qing had no choice but to ask Zhuo Shi to kiss him for 5 seconds. Zhuo Shi couldn't control much. She stepped forward and kissed him. 1, 2, 3 for the kiss was over. Seeing Zhuo Shi was very sincere, and Wei Qing finally agreed to help. After that, Zhuo Shi sheepishly left. Wei Qing took off his gloves. No allergic reaction at all. Now he was even more certain. Zhuo Shi was the real princess he'd been looking for. A few days later, Wei Qing brought Zhuo Shi to pick up the restored porcelain. He was still tricking her that the porcelain needed to be restored before leaving the warehouse. She had to hold the bowl with both hands behind her back. This way, the porcelain wouldn't be easily broken after leaving the warehouse. Zhuo Shi foolishly believed him. The next second, he moved in and was about to kiss Zhuo Shi. The billionaire chairman, he just went in for a kiss with Zhuo Shi. Zhuo Shi wanted to resist, but she could only hold the porcelain with both hands and could only let Wei Qing bully her. For a moment, he just kept kissing her until they were near a table. When Zhuo Shi managed to put the porcelain down on the table, she immediately pushed him away and knocked over all the expensive porcelain. Zhuo Shi hurriedly picked up the porcelain bowl and ran off. After the assistant arrived, seeing the scattered porcelain on the ground, he suggested that Wei Qing report it to the owner immediately, but Wei Qing didn't care at all. He even took the time to send a photo to Zhuo Shi. The assistant was also confused. Wei Qing said, "For 10 years, I've finally met a girl I'm not allergic to. I won't let her go again." On the bus, she looked at the picture sent by Wei Qing. This time, she couldn't avoid being behind bars. Back home, she searched for the rescue price of the broken porcelain online. It was really a lot of money. She woke up. It was already the second day. At this time, the phone received a message. Zhuo Shi took a closer look. She came up with a way to compensate. The next day, she went to see Wei Qing. Zhuo Shi took out her own scholarship to compensate. Wei Qing said with a look of disdain, only with her scholarship and low income. How could she have enough money to compensate him? Zhuo Shi didn't know what else to do. Wei Qing then proposed a solution, to have her sign a contract with him, voluntarily accompanying him and obeying him. After a 3-day trial period, Zhuo Shi would be rewarded with 1 million per month, the cost used to compensate, faced with huge debts. Zhuo Shi could only obey. With this overbearing man, there was really no room to bargain. With the sound of the shutter, Zhuo Shi immediately went in to give the card to Wei Qing. And her first task was to memorize the list of jobs and recognize their identities. For Zhuo Shi with an IQ of only 90, it was a disaster. Back home, facing a board full of information, Zhuo Shi felt like the sky was falling. By unrelenting efforts, Zhuo Shi finally completed it on the second day, but Wei Qing threw the document away. With her surprised look, Wei Qing explained. Everyone on the list wasn't important, he just wanted to use the process of elimination to find the hidden figure at the party. He was also the heir to the Snow Group, and this was the real purpose of Wei Qing's trip. Because the party requires bringing a girlfriend, he asked Zhuo Shi to pretend to be his girlfriend. Wei Qing took her to get changed and get her makeup done. After putting on the dress, the ugly duckling turned into a noble and beautiful swan in seconds. The focus of many media, they both got out of the car. He told her to act well, otherwise she wouldn't have the money to pay off her debt. Then the couple looked like lovers. Entering the venue, after he introduced the party to Zhuo Shi, he went to meet clients and she switched to dessert mode. By accident, she carelessly leaned on another girl's dress. She hurriedly apologized to the girl. Zhuo Shi discovered that this person wasn't on the secret list. Surely, she was Lin Fei. Wei Qing hurriedly sent a message to Zhuo Shi. Ran you. She deliberately stepped on Lin Fei's dress, tearing a long line in the skirt. Just as everyone was buzzing, Wei Qing arrived and folded her dress, which relieved the embarrassment. Lin Fei also expressed her gratitude to Wei Qing. On the other hand, Zhuo Shi was being bothered in the hallway and said that she was just a toy of Wei Qing. He even used his hand to hold Zhuo Shi's chin. At this time, Wei Qing arrived, warning him to stay away from her. But it got worse. He put his hand on Zhuo Shi's chin again. Zhuo Shi was angry and gave him a slap, then ran to Wei Qing. Wei Qing warned him to stay away from his person, and they left. After returning home, Zhuo Shi caught a cold and had a high fever. She called her best friend, but because she was busy, she asked her boyfriend to help buy medicine and take care of Zhuo Shi. Surprisingly, he refused to leave when he delivered the medicine, moving in to caress Zhuo Shi, trying to take advantage of her. At the critical moment, her roommate returned. Surprisingly, her boyfriend immediately changed his face, saying that Zhuo Shi was faking illness to seduce him, saying that he was innocent, but she didn't believe his words at all. She just grabbed a glass bottle and threw it at her boyfriend. At night, Ning Fei came to visit Zhuo Shi, wrapping her in a blanket. Then Ning Fei asked Zhuo Shi why she was like this. Zhuo Shi recounted the whole story. She couldn't explain the huge debts. Maybe she would lose her life. Ning Fei told Zhuo Shi not to worry, to think back to the cause of the incident. Maybe all of this was arranged by him. The next day, Zhuo Shi went to Wei Qing's exhibition hall again. The broken antique porcelain from that time was found, and it was still uniquely placed in the display cabinet. She seemed confused, so she asked the staff. After confirming that this was authentic, Zhuo Shi saw Wei Qing and became furious. Angrily, she scolded him for deceiving her. Wei Qing calmly said, "I didn't say that at the time. He never said it was genuine." Zhuo Shi was stunned for a moment. She had dug a hole and jumped into it herself. No wonder. Zhuo Shi angrily demanded that Wei Qing apologize. But Wei Qing said that he never apologized and said, even if there was no such accident, he tried his best to bound Zhuo Shi beside him. Zhuo Shi angrily pushed Wei Qing away, accusing him of disrupting her life, saying that she already had someone she liked. Wei Qing didn't care at all. Wei Qing looked at Zhuo Shi's photo. He had a bigger plan in mind. Back home, she sorted out all the bags sent by Wei Qing, planning to return them to Wei Qing. After the delivery guy came to pick up the package, Zhuo Shi thought she was finally free. Little did she know, the trouble was just beginning. The next morning, Zhuo Shi went back to school, but she was noticed by the other students. She was badmouthed by everyone, saying she was following a rich guy. At this point, a boy deliberately fell down, diverting everyone's attention. Only then did the attacks on Zhuo Shi stop. Zhuo Shi blocked Ming Cheng after class. "Thank you for helping me," Ming Cheng said bluntly. "Are you really like what your classmates said? Willing to follow a rich guy?" Zhuo Shi was very sad. Even the person who was always good to her thought she was that kind of person. Back home, Zhuo Shi was stunned by the sight before her. The order she sent out, it had been sent back intact. Flowers were piled up all over the room. Gifts filled the house. She decided to send it all back, but she felt bad about the delivery fee. It wasn't a small amount. Unexpectedly, she could do it for free on a 3-wheeled cart. At this point, Wei Qing chased after her by car, seeing the cart full of flowers. Zhuo Shi wanted to return it to him, and Zhuo Shi didn't explain much. She got out of the car and asked Wei Qing to drive the cart back himself, saving her the trouble of transporting it. At this moment, the civil defense came to issue a fine. In desperation, Wei Qing pushed Zhuo Shi onto the cart. He rode the small 3-wheeled cart and started running with a happy smile. Was he crazy? Clearly not. He just wanted to get close to the person he loved. Zhuo Shi was eating a meal of all vegetables. She felt her poverty. Her roommate asked her why she wasn't eating the food. Zhuo Shi's helpless face, lying about losing weight. At this moment, Lin Fei brought in a plate of chicken feet and chicken wings. Zhuo Shi's saliva almost dripped out. She went to the bar to work at night, and she cleaned up, Looking at the guests eating leftover cake, she couldn't control it anymore. As she was ready to eat, the manager walked in. Zhou Shi was so scared that she quickly stood up and left. Then, the manager came inside to report the situation. It turned out that Wei Qing had always been here, secretly watching Zhou Shi. He also found it interesting. This time, Zhou Shi's appearance could be considered a great loss. The next morning, Zhou Shi again received a pile of deliveries. She was very angry. Then, she called Wei Qing and scolded him, and emphasized again and again not to send her any more things. But Wei Qing actually pretended that the cell phone signal wasn't good, hurriedly hanging up the phone, making her throw her phone angrily. In the next second, she picked it up again with a sad face. The phone was shattered into many pieces, poor and broken. In the afternoon, Zhou Shi found him to question him, but seeing the delicious food on the table, she couldn't resist anymore. When she was ready to eat, she suddenly thought that this must be a free meal. She didn't want to forgive him with a good meal. She wasn't that easy. Because of demanding Wei Qing apologize, Wei Qing refused. Zhou Shi looked at the food on the table. She couldn't be forgiven. She endured her hunger and ran out. On the road, Zhou Shi walked dejectedly. Wei Qing chased after her by car and said the unspeakable words, "I'm sorry, I apologize." Zhou Shi saw that he was very sincere, forgiving him. Back home, she squeezed the delivery box. It was full of food. She was very happy, quickly calling him to express her gratitude. He also realized that Zhou Shi is a food lover. It seems that apologies will be used often in the future. Wei Qing, he actually rode a bike to take the girl to school, but she didn't like him taking her because the speed was too slow. Simple exchange of places. After bringing all the ways, finally, the two arrived at school. Going to class, she was blocked by Wei Qing. It turned out that her phone was broken more than an hour fast. Then Wei Qing lent Zhou Shi his watch. Although Zhou Shi was reluctant, she still accepted, but what she didn't know was that this humble watch was worth millions. Back home at night, shocked, this watch is an under-limited edition. You can buy a number of suites and cities. Zhou Shi was surprised to hear this say, "Watch equals a lifetime of labor." She was so scared that she quickly took it off. If it was broken, she couldn't afford it. The next day, Zhou Shi received a call from the owner of the bar, saying that he was introducing her to a good bar to work. Higher income than now, Zhou Shi was very happy and immediately agreed to go to the door of the bar. The assistant suggested she work as a waitress. Money overnight equals a month's salary at the front desk. Zhou Shi thought that she was in urgent need of money, so she agreed, but she didn't know all of this was deliberately arranged by the owner of the bar. The purpose was to take the opportunity to embarrass Wei Qing. On a work shift, the customer slapped a lot of money in front of Zhou Shi. Just drink the wine in the glass. This money is considered a tip. Zhou Shi hesitated again and again, finally agreeing to drink, which made the guests on the side laugh. He also recorded the whole process with his mobile phone and sent it to Wei Qing. Wei Qing looked at the image in the video, immediately flew into a rage. At this moment, Zhou Shi was drunk. In a state of confusion, she went into the men's locker room by mistake. Then the manager came in. When she was about to change, the manager came up to molest her. She was very scared. Wei Qing arrived at the critical moment, immediately punching a man, "My person. How dare you touch her? Didn't you break up? I haven't broken up for a day. She's still mine." Then, Wei Qing put a coat on Zhou Shi and escorted her out. "Let me go. Will you stop making trouble?" "I'm making trouble. You were almost sexually assaulted. Do you know that? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be hundreds of thousands of times in debt. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting bad grades at school either. You think I'd trust you again?" At this time, Ning Fei rushed over, taking Zhou Shi away, but was blocked by Wei Qing. At this time, Lin Fei also ran over, arranging for Zhou Shi to leave, going up and giving Wei Qing a kick and warning him, "Don't hurt Zhou Shi anymore. If you really want to pursue her, just give up being chairman. Think about her feelings. Don't just do whatever you want." Everyone left, leaving him standing there alone. The next morning, Zhou Shi was eating breakfast. Lin Fei sighed, "Are you a cat? Just sleep and nothing will happen." Zhou Shi laughed and said, "My cat is invincible." At this time, Ning Fei gave Zhou Shi a business card, telling her to go to work at the address on the business card. At noon, Zhou Shi found the person with her business card. She wanted to find a job and was immediately accepted on the spot. Zhou Shi never expected that she would find a job so easily, but she didn't know that this person is Wei Qing's foster mother. Early tomorrow morning, Zhou Shi came to the office to report on time, Wei Qing's stepmother arranged an easy job for her, just standing at the door and smiling. At this time, the assistant came and said there was a client who wanted to meet, but she didn't want to see this person. She arranged for Zhou Shi to chase him away. Zhou Shi walked over. She seemed confused. Why did this back look familiar? Wei Qing turned around. Zhou Shi was stunned, quickly asking Wei Qing, why was he everywhere? Zhou Shi angrily turned around and prepared to leave. She was grabbed by the hand by him. It turned out that the gallery was also owned by Wei Qing's company. Zhou Shi was speechless. This had gone around and around, still working for Wei Qing. Have you ever seen a mother-son relationship that's so bad? What's the feud between them? Just 5 years ago, Dad didn't care what his son drew. No matter how he drew, he wasn't as good as the child Dad picked up. Wei Qing's arguing words made Dad angry and had a heart attack. His stepmother blamed Wei Qing for his father's death since that day. Mother took her younger brother and left Wei Qing. The mother-son relationship between the two completely cracked, and Wei Qing also began to hate his stepmother to the bone. Even now, mother and son meet. They also quarrel nonstop. The two don't share the same views. It's hard to talk. Wei Qing angrily left, sitting alone in the park depressed. At this moment, Zhou Shi walked over to comfort Wei Qing. There are no eternal enemies between mother and son, as long as both sides can calm down and talk nicely. Find out what's wrong. All difficulties will pass. Wei Qing saw that Zhou Shi cared a lot about him, so he took the opportunity to apologize to her solemnly. He begged Zhou Shi to forgive him for what he had done, and he hoped Zhou Shi could become his friend. Zhou Shi remembered the humiliation she had suffered just to forgive him. Isn't that too easy on him? So Zhou Shi made a request. She asked Wei Qing not to send flowers and gifts. Wei Qing agreed without thinking about it. The two agreed together according to Zhou Shi's suggestion. The next day, Lin Fei went shopping alone in the mall. Wei Qing's assistant came over, buying all the shoes Lin Fei had tried on. At the same time, he also learned a secret. It turned out that Zhou Shi wanted to confess to the crush during her birthday party. After Wei Qing found out, he had a bold idea. He actually wanted to help the girl he loved confess to someone else. From there, she learned the type of girl that Ming Chung likes isn't her. So Wei Qing took her to a clothing store to try on clothes. After a while, the cute version of Zhou Shi debuted. Although Wei Qing knew her crush didn't like her, he wasn't allowed to confess, and Zhou Shi wouldn't be sad. Then Wei Qing told Zhou Shi 3 days of special training for quick results. Let Zhou Shi try to express herself once, but unexpectedly encountered a laugh at the image of Wei Qing. Wei Qing was also extremely embarrassed. After self-adjustment, Zhou Shi finally mustered up the courage, confessing to her crush, saying things that were truly touching and sincere. She really thought that Wei Qing was her crush in front of her, expressing all the feelings hidden in her heart. Wei Qing was moved by Zhou Shi's true feelings. He hugged her and encouraged her. She was amazing. He played along and agreed on behalf of the crush. Zhou Shi cried with joy. The suppressed emotions were finally released. When the two were immersed in preparing to kiss, they were interrupted by the assistant. Both of them woke up from the hazy feeling of confusion. After returning home, Zhou Shi spent a day writing calligraphy, preparing to give a birthday gift to her crush. What a painstaking effort. When everything was ready, Wei Qing drove Zhou Shi to the birthday party venue. The students present were singing and dancing. Zhou Shi nervously pushed open the door, entering slowly. She was scared, coming to her crush's birthday party, ready to muster up the courage to confess to him. But her crush was drinking with Ran Yu, completely ignoring Zhou Shi's call. In desperation, she grabbed the microphone and shouted. That got everyone's attention. On the other hand, Wei Qing went home. He discovered that Zhou Shi had taken the wrong birthday present for her crush. He hurriedly got up to find Xiao Zhu. At the birthday party, everyone happily sang the birthday song, then prayed and blew out the candles. Ran Yu took out the birthday present she had prepared, opening it. It was an expensive camera. It also aroused the envy of the students. It was Zhou Shi's turn. She confidently took out her own calligraphy. When it was opened, it really surprised everyone. Xiao Zhu was extremely embarrassed. That's when she realized she had taken the wrong gift. She hurriedly pulled her crush out the door to explain, but he didn't wait for her to speak. He was pulled in by Ran Yu to sing. Zhou Shi suddenly felt like a failure. Watching them sing together, her face was full of sadness and despair, only able to numb herself with alcohol. Drunk, she went to the bathroom. On appearance, cannot be compared with Ran Yu. She thinks she's inferior to Ran Yu in every way. so how could he like her? She didn't even have the courage to express herself. She wasn't worthy of this love. Wei Qing arrived. He happened to meet Zhou Shi about to leave. Xiao Zhu cried, telling Wei Qing to throw away the gift. He said let him take her home. She just wanted to drink alcohol right now. The two sat in front of the pool. Wei Qing drank with Zhou Shi to forget her sadness. After a while, Zhou Shi was already drunk. She used alcohol to ask if he liked her. Wei Qing bluntly denied it. Xiao Zhu didn't believe it, then questioned, "What do you like about me? Why do you keep bothering me? I like you, it can't be explained. I like you. I like everything about you. You don't need to change yourself for others there. We'll always be someone who can accept the real you." Wei Qing hadn't finished speaking when Xiao Zhu rushed over to kiss him. She was really very drunk. The next morning, she woke up. She found herself in Wei Qing's bed. Even her clothes were changed. She angrily found him. "Why did you take off my clothes?" Wei Qing teased, saying that he didn't remember anything. He didn't remember anything in just one night. Zhou Shi thought she was being taken advantage of, moving her hand angrily. Wei Qing had no choice but to tell the truth. It turned out that the clothes were changed by the nanny. At this time, Xiao Zhu's panicked heart calmed down. Then the two had breakfast. Wei Qing took Zhou Shi to school. When she got out of the car, Wei Qing invited Zhou Shi to work in his company. Xiao Zhu said her job was introduced by her friend. If she quit too soon, she felt guilty at conversation. Zhou Shi could only agree with Wei Qing. She'll think about it herself. Back home, Zhou Shi told Ning Fei about changing jobs. Surprisingly, Ning Fei directly agreed. Early the next morning, Zhou Shi went to the gallery to submit her resignation. As she was leaving, she happened to overhear a business conversation. It turned out that this time she came here with the intention of buying a gallery, but was rejected by Wei Qing on the spot. Just as Zhou Shi was fascinated by him, she accidentally knocked something over. She was discovered. She hurriedly stepped forward to apologize, explaining that she was just passing by. At this point, the other girl leaned into Wei Qing and said, telling Wei Qing to think about it. She could invest in a larger project. After speaking, she reached out and stroked Wei Qing's cheek. After the girl left, Zhou Shi was surprised to see many rashes appeared on Wei Qing's neck, about to approach but was blocked by Wei Qing, then turned and left, leaving only the doubt on Zhou Shi's face. "Be careful, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot." On her first day of work, she sprayed coffee on the chairman's face. If it were anyone else, they would have packed their bags and left, but Wei Qing said, "You sprayed coffee all over me. Don't mention it to anyone, no way." Zhou Shi ran out in a panic. Ran seemed confused. Asked Zhou Shi what she was doing in the office. Zhou Shi didn't say anything. Ran didn't believe it, then stepped forward and sniffed. Wei Qing's perfume, messy hair, and sweat on the clothes. Ran was so angry that she wanted to go in and check. She was blocked by Zhou Shi, who told her the chairman is not available now, thinking they had just done something shady, so she angrily turned away. In the evening, Wei Qing called Zhou Shi into the office and gave her $1 million necklace. Zhou Shi happily tried it on. "This is too beautiful." Then, Wei Qing asked Zhou Shi to accompany him to the party tomorrow. The main task is to be Wei Qing's bodyguard. Don't let anyone get close to him. Although Zhou Shi was reluctant, but because of the necklace, she still agreed. At the party, both of them walked cautiously. Zhou Shi also protected Wei Qing behind her. Even his sister wanted to shake hands to greet, but Zhou Shi also cut in. Just when the two thought it was safe, he didn't know that she had made a big move behind his back. He had notified all of Wei Qing's ex-girlfriends in advance, preparing to surround Wei Qing. When Wei Qing was talking to his sister about business, danger came. All the girls arrived at the same time. The billionaire chairman ran away when chased by his ex-girlfriends. At the critical moment, the strong female bodyguard came to the rescue in time. Back home, Zhou Shi asked Wei Qing what happened to the rash, why he couldn't have contact with people. Under Zhou Shi's inquiry, Wei Qing told the truth. He had a rare disease since he was a child, sensitive to people's skin. The doctor said it was psychological, but there was no solution. If he wanted to cure the disease, he had to find someone he trusted and a girl whose body he didn't react to. And Zhou Shi was that girl. After hearing Wei Qing's confession, Zhou Shi expressed sympathy for him and voluntarily cooperated with Wei Qing for treatment, as long as the two do not cross the line. The next morning, Zhou Shi was stunned by the scene before her. Wei Qing actually used the treatment trick, moving directly to the house. Next to Zhou Shi, her roommates were wondering. They suspected Zhou Shi and Wei Qing had something incomprehensible. Zhou Shi explained, "I'm just cooperating with his treatment. There are no feelings at all." Then Zhou Shi returned to the room confused. In the evening when Zhou Shi was studying, Wei Qing prepared a birthday cake and sang a birthday song to Zhou Shi. Seeing Wei Qing preparing a birthday for herself, Zhou Shi was very touched, running over to hug him, thanking him. This is the first time she has had such a surprise birthday. They made a wish together and blew out the candles. This was Zhou Shi's most memorable birthday. The next day, Zhou Shi went to take an exam. Wei Qing secretly cheered her on. Thanks to Wei Qing, Zhou Shi completed her exam well. Afterward, Lin Fei went all out, renting a large restaurant to celebrate Zhou Shi's birthday and was ready to hold a ball. That evening, Zhou Shi told Wei Qing everything, inviting him to attend as a thank you. Zhou Shi planned to confess to her crush that day and asked for Wei Qing's help, who knew this was the third time she'd confessed. Seeing the girl, he loved confessing again and again to her crush. Seeing Zhou Shi so determined this time, Wei Qing readily agreed to help her. The party officially started. A lot of people attended. Wei Qing, looking dapper, sat playing the piano, and the main character, Zhou Shi, appeared. She danced, floating to the music. Everyone danced along to the music. Zhou Shi's crush appeared, inviting a girl to dance. Wei Qing also used the piano to approach Zhou Shi and invited her to dance with him. The two whispered to each other. Wei Qing wished her good luck in confessing successfully. Unexpectedly, her crush liked another girl. He wanted to confess to the person he liked, but was stopped by Wei Qing, telling him to hold off on confessing today, because today there was a surprise in store for him. Because of Wei Qing's words, he postponed confessing to the girl he liked. Then Zhou Shi invited her crush to dance with her. When Zhou Shi was about to confess to her crush, just then, she twisted her ankle. She quickly left to get help. Her crush quickly approached the person he liked, but was exposed by the side chick. Her crush took the opportunity to confess to the person he liked. Unexpectedly, Zhou Shi appeared right behind him. She heard it like a thunderclap. Her crush confessed to her best friend. She couldn't accept this fact. She sadly left. Her crush then realized that Zhou Shi liked him. What could be more painful than your crush liking your best friend? Zhou Shi ran very fast. Wei Qing chased after her. She quickly ran onto a bus, leaving everything behind. Despite the rain, Zhou Shi sat heedless in the rain. Wei Qing approached, very heartbroken. He quickly pulled Zhou Shi together, saying that it's just heartbreak, that her crush wasn't the only man in the world. After speaking, he picked her up and kissed her in the rain. Back home, when the two were about to go to sleep, Zhou Shi couldn't sleep and found Wei Qing to chat. Zhou Shi told the reason why she liked her crush to Wei Qing. It was just because her crush helped her get 100 points that she fell in love with him for 10 years striving because of him. But confessing 3 times failed. Zhou Shi made herself sad and thought she wasn't worthy of her crush. Listening to Zhou Shi's story, Wei Qing wondered if that was love. The next day, Zhou Shi's mood improved. She was ready with a beautiful dress, but there was only one shoe. Unexpectedly, Wei Qing had picked up the one she left behind yesterday. He quickly helped her put it on. Wei Qing drove Zhou Shi to school, helping her express her feelings to her crush. After all, there had to be a result after 10 years of liking him secretly. Mustering up the courage to confess, no matter the outcome, she wouldn't regret what Zhou Shi had tried. Zhou Shi approached her crush. She poured out her heart and wished her crush happiness with the person he liked. All her suffering crumbled like white paper. Back home, leaving behind all the suffering. After all, she had to live her life to the fullest. The whole group hugged each other, striving for the future. The next day, Zhou Shi went to see a psychologist. Unexpectedly, the doctor stared at Zhou Shi, making Zhou Shi's face turn embarrassed. The doctor curiously asked, how did she conquer Wei Qing? For 10 years, she was the first girl Wei Qing brought to see her and cooperated with her in the treatment process, accepting physical contact. Zhou Shi said, as long as it's not too much, she can accept it. Then, the doctor told Zhou Shi about Wei Qing's situation. When Wei Qing was 18 years old, his father died, and the first person to see the body was Wei Qing. The doctors thought that during that time, something serious happened, causing Wei Qing's body issues. After hearing the doctor speak, Zhou Shi went home, deciding to move to Wei Qing's room. It would be more convenient for treatment. Who knew that the first night, Wei Qing asked Zhou Shi to sleep in the same bed with him. Zhou Shi was stupid to hear this. She refused outright. Seeing that, Wei Qing turned on the flickering mode. As long as the mind is pure, what's wrong with sleeping on the bed? According to Wei Qing's thorough method, Zhou Shi thought about it carefully. Anyway, he couldn't beat himself. So, she agreed. Wei Qing hugged Zhou Shi's arm and quickly fell asleep. As for Zhou Shi, she could only rely on counting sheep to hypnotize herself. The next morning, Wei Qing woke up early, while Xiao Zhu was still immersed in sleep, smiling. Wei Qing curiously took a picture with his mobile phone. Xiao Zhu woke up. Wei Qing asked Zhou Shi what she dreamed of, smiling so happily. Xiao Zhu recalled the scene in her dream. The couple got married in the wedding hall, but never expected. The bride and groom turned out to be her and Wei Qing. Xiao Zhu was stunned, went into the bathroom, and washed her face. Too abnormal, telling herself to be sober, can't continue like this. Zhou Shi quickly found the psychologist. The doctor told her, the treatment effect is remarkable. I spent 10 years not seeing any effect, which Zhou Shi had completed. When treating for a few days, the doctor also suggested that she increase the intensity of the treatment. At night, Zhou Shi brought Wei Qing to a pet store full of cats. When he removed the blindfold, Wei Qing immediately became dizzy. Zhou Shi immediately ran over. Wei Qing hid in a corner with his hands on his head. His face was full of fear. Then he ran out the door. Luckily, the doctor arrived in time, sedating him. Only then did Wei Qing calm down, informed by a psychologist. It turned out that Wei Qing was most afraid of cats. Fortunately, he was only scared, nothing serious. The next morning, to help Wei Qing overcome his fear, Zhou Shi took him into the mud. The images of the past kept coming back, and the two chased and played, leaving all your troubles behind. Then Zhou Shi told Wei Qing to close his eyes. She wanted to change into a big-face cat outfit. Are you afraid of cats? Zhou Shi wore the cat head to see Wei Qing's reaction. He walked over and threw it away. He hugged Zhou Shi, apologizing for worrying her. Then the two found the psychologist. The doctor congratulated them on successfully overcoming their fear. The next step is to improve the treatment. The doctor advised them to go to the newly opened resort to relax, adjust their mood. This has a good recovery effect on the condition. However, what Zhou Shi didn't know was that, in fact, all of this was arranged by Wei Qing in advance. He knew that he and Zhou Shi didn't just have a therapeutic relationship, more importantly, he found himself deeply in love with her. The next morning, the two arrived at the restaurant very early. While eating breakfast comfortably, Wei Qing saw someone he didn't want to see. He stood up and prepared to leave. He was pressured by Zhou Shi and advised him to calm down. Running away doesn't solve anything. On the other hand, the girl led Zhou Shi's crush here. Her purpose was to break up Wei Qing and Zhou Shi's relationship. From today, the resort is holding a campfire. Ranyu made an appointment with Wei Qing here, but he refused to participate. Ranyu made a plan, going to his room. Then, Ranyu rang Wei Qing's doorbell. Surprisingly, Wei Qing opened the door. Ranyu rushed forward and hugged Wei Qing, but was pushed away by Wei Qing. At this time, Ranyu was very surprised to see that his body was covered in red rashes. She asked him what was wrong. Wei Qing lied that he had an infectious disease. Ranyu was scared and rushed out the door. Wei Qing never thought allergies had helped him, and Ranyu was unsuccessful. Because the plan failed, she decided to take revenge on Wei Qing. Then everyone would think that Wei Qing had pushed her down. The next morning, acting according to plan, then he realized that this person wasn't Wei Qing. Who are you? Why did you invite me here? Then he left in a hurry. On the other hand, lying to her that Wei Qing and Lin Fei had a fight in the forest. Zhou Shi anxiously went out to find them. At this time, Lin Fei heard Zhou Shi's call. She quickly answered. Only then did Zhou Shi see Lin Fei bruised, about to rescue her, but accidentally rolled down the hillside. She asked the front desk for help finding them. At this time, Wei Qing passed by the front desk. After learning about this, he would have find them. As they left, the mom remembered her husband at that time, saying goodbye to himself when going abroad, clenching her hands, praying that Wei Qing and the others could return safely. On the other hand, the two people who fell down the hillside finally woke up. Zhou Shi asked Ning Fei how he fell. Ning Fei said that a man pretended to be Wei Qing, lured him to the hillside, then pushed him down himself. He hadn't finished speaking. Ning Fei was injured in the leg, lost too much blood, and fainted. Fortunately, Wei Qing and the others arrived in time, quickly taking both of them to the hospital. Fortunately, Ning Fei was only injured in the leg, nothing serious. To find out the truth about his father's death, Wei Qing, with the help of the doctor, his dusty memories were awakened. That night, Wei Qing was lying on the bed alone, suddenly hearing a noise outside the door. He wanted to go out and check, but the door wouldn't open. In desperation, he had no choice but to jump out the window. But what emerged before my eyes were the bloodstains all over the ground, stretching from the stairs upstairs, until he saw his father lying on a bloody slope. He knew Dad was gone. Wei Qing woke up from the memory, kept crying and blaming himself. I thought that it was his stubbornness that hurt his father, but Zhou sure felt that something was wrong. He could only go to the G police station in Country M to find out the truth. Parting, Wei Qing asked Zhou Sure, give him an answer to whether she would wait for him. Zhou Sure readily agreed. After arriving in the United States, he obtained the record of the video of the year through the G Police Department. The truth about his father's death finally emerged before his eyes. That night, 3 thugs broke into the house. Dad stepped forward to stop them when he found out, but was shot by the gangsters. Dad was worried that the gangsters would hit his son, so he dragged his injured body upstairs toward Wei Qing's door. To protect his son, Dad was shot dead by the gangsters. His dad lay in the bloody slope. This was the real reason why his father passed away, and told her Wei Qing's address. When Zhou Sure arrived at Wei Qing's door, suddenly stopped. At this time, she saw Wei Qing preparing to go out, following closely behind. He knew that Zhou Sure was following him. Just pretending not to know, playing hide and seek with Zhou Sure, the two were really playing hide and seek with each other. Wei Qing had a big matter to return home immediately. The assistant called Zhou Sure to inform her of that, and booked plane tickets for the boss and her on the same trip. After getting off at the airport, Wei Qing couldn't bear it anymore. He hid from behind, approached, hugged Zhou Sure and said that he missed her so much. Zhou Sure also responded to that longing. A little girl walked over and took Wei Qing's hand. Surprisingly, he wasn't allergic. Finally, his illness, with the help of Zhou Sure, was cured. Zhou Sure ran over to hug Wei Qing, but she realized that he didn't care about her, angrily and leaving. The next day, after settling the work, Wei Qing quickly went to find Zhou Sure. When Zhou Sure went to the swimming pool, she was so busy looking at her phone that she bumped into someone, causing her to fall into the swimming pool. She looked from afar. There was a person approaching her. That person was Wei Qing. Wei Qing quickly brought Zhou Sure ashore, asking why she came here. It turned out that every year Zhou Sure comes here for the anniversary of her drowning. Then Wei Qing also recounted that he had once saved a girl from drowning many years ago. Fate is real. It turned out that the two of them that year were actually Wei Qing and Zhou Sure. Wei Qing confessed to Zhou Sure in front of everyone. The two kissed, marking each other as their own. Please subscribe to review channels to watch the best movies. Thank you.